Hello and welcome back to the show. So we have a very important moment right here happening on the markets because we have finally reached, guys, the lower band of the bear flag that I've been talking to you about, for what is it, 3 weeks now, I think. All the way down here, I told you that that I wasn't convinced that the bottom was in, and I told you to be watching, for another low to form here. I thought that we would get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a flat correction. But apparently Nasdaq is more within this wedge or slash. Well, we broke out of the wedge now. Everybody's probably getting super bearish, but I think this bull flag level down here is where the bottom is going to be. We have the sequence counts up right now because now this is very important. If we just go back and see, as you can see here, the last 9 count produced the bottom. The 9 count before that produced the top. Now it's not always like this. You do get these 9 counts, and then you can go a little bit lower or higher. But usually you want to be looking to see what happens surrounding that level. So as you can see, this 9 count here, the 9 count low, or just this entire bar here, we went sideways around this level, around the 9 count for a while. So to get a perfected signal, you need the 8 or the 9 bar to be the low of the count. And right now, what we're getting here on NASDAQ is an 8 bar that's gone really deep here. And we could potentially get the 9 count tomorrow. Now, for us to get a 9 count tomorrow, we would have to close below the bar from 4 bars ago. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here, if we want to get a 9 count tomorrow, all we have to do is close beneath 14,638. 14,628, which is, 2.73% away, and we get the 9 count, the perfected 9 count buy signal. Okay, so we are watching these levels. It is very possible that the bottom was put in right there. As I said, sometimes you do go a little bit sideways, but this is the time where you want to be watching to see what happens here. Do we start forming higher lows? It doesn't matter if the higher low is even 2 points. Do we start forming higher lows here on the NASDAQ and on the other charts? Now, let me just get rid of the 9 count so we can see a little bit clearer. So I'm going to be completely transparent with you, okay? I opened a position down here, right here. I just opened it a few minutes ago with a stop right below this level here. We're going to see if that holds. If it doesn't hold, I really don't care because once again, if you're following my channel, we made a ton of money here throughout this entire decline. We called every move perfectly here, starting from the peak of the wedge to when we started dropping below the 50 there, which is the 200, pretty much the 200 in this time frame. Not exactly, but, kind of. So, throughout this entire downtrend here, I told you short here. Well, not financial advice, but I didn't tell you anything, actually. Excuse me. I'll just explain to you the trading system that I have in place here. So I would have shorted right here, taken profits right here. That was the first level of take profit. We had 2 more pullbacks to the 50 here that were pretty, that were within this distribution triangle that I talked to you about. And then I told you to take profits. Well, I took profits. I'm sorry. Somebody using my trading system would have taken profits again around the 20-day moving average here before all this crazy sideways movement. And then we continued going lower. I told you in the morning right here, if you go on my Twitter, you will see this. I told you that I, closed all of my positions. I think it was like maybe right around here. It might have been right around 9. We can actually just go and give that a quick look really quickly, just so, remember, if you want to follow me on Twitter, go to at @the_bucket shop. That is where I post my updates. Sorry if I'm a little bit jittery right now. I do have the adrenaline going on because of everything that's going on the market. But we did make a call on IWM or the Russell 2000 here. Let me just take a look at how that is doing because I did also open a small position on the Russell 2000. Okay, I opened a position right here on the Russell 2000. Let's see how that is going to fare. Once again, I am transparent with you. If we go and take out this low, then my position will be taken out. And, I don't mind that. We had the first position on the Russell that was taken out higher levels. But, that's why you manage risk and you get a few. And I like to get low risk entries here because, once again, if we do start taking it out, then I don't really care. Right now, Russell is in some sort of a short squeeze. We're already up 1.5% here. So we'll be watching to see what happens. Do we start turning here? NASDAQ, we opened the positions right down here, right at the level. What did we get? I told you, a higher low. That is why I opened a position right here. Maybe we go sideways here. Maybe I'll look stupid in 2 minutes, maybe next minute right here. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm just explaining to you how my trading, how I like to make my trading decisions. I do open small positions because this is, speculation. There is nothing on the charts telling me right now that this is bullish. The charts are still bearish at this point. I'm just explaining to you sometimes how I like to, get into my trades. Now, if we start turning bullish and we haven't taken out these lows and my positions are green and we start bouncing off of the moving averages in the hourly time frame, once again, if we start getting above the green line here, the 50, and start turning that into support, and then start turning the 10 and the 20 into support, then it gets very interesting. As you can see the Russell here, we got our positions down here. Now we're going higher. Maybe we go for that 200 at 1704 before pulling back into the 50. Maybe we pull back into the 50 as we get the cross of either the 10 or the 20 with the 50. But we'll see how high we go before that happens here. I have been telling you, I have been warning you about these levels. Russell is at a perfect critical level now. In what's it called? Jesse Livermore. I don't know if you know who Jesse Livermore is. If you don't know, please comment under this video and let me know that you would like to me to make a video explaining Jesse Livermore, the famous Wall Street trader back in the early 1900s, who just made an absolute killing. Wall Street legend. If you want a video on him, a short video where I kind of explain his work and why, basically why I follow his stuff so much, all of that. If you want me to explain to you more about Jesse Livermore, let me know in the comments down below, please. Let's try to be a little bit more interactive here. Give me some feedback. And if you want to see specific stocks, AAPL, I don't know anything, let me know. But at the moment, we're bouncing off of a perfect critical level. And Jesse Livermore loved to say that once the market gets into this area, if we start breaking this strongly, so let's say maybe we break 1605 here, then we're probably going to get another bearish, a super bearish leg down, the next leg down of the bear market, where if we start bouncing off of this level now and we start going, higher and we can't make a new low here and we bounce off of the critical area, which is the last peaks, then you can start thinking, okay, we're probably going higher. We're probably going to take out this peak. We're probably going to take out this peak. We're probably going to take out this peak. And, it does all come down to what happens on the S&P and on the NASDAQ. But I think that if we rally to new all-time highs, maybe the Russell breaks out of all this and goes to form a double top, before the massive crash. I do think we have a massive crash coming. Jesse Livermore used to say, once again, there's no difference in being wrong and in being too early. So you never want to be too early to your trades. You always want to be right at the right time. So just going back to US 100, we're still continuing to rally for now. We'll be watching how this unfolds here. We're back above the 200 on the 5-minute chart. We got a higher low. We probably have puts stacking in right now. I posted this on my Twitter yesterday, and the PCC and the PCCE had a spike yesterday. As you can see right now, we're opening down lower, but they did have a spike. So we'll be looking to see what happens if we end up getting another spike tomorrow or something. But we did have a pretty large spike, nothing too crazy like the one we had down here at the bottom in January, but we had a pretty important spike on the PCCE. And for the PCC as well, a pretty good spike there, nothing too crazy. We'll see if we get something bigger, but we're still watching that for now. A few more things I want to get to. I just want to check really quickly for a fear and greed index. I want to see the fear and greed index. I don't know if it's been updated. I doubt it. But if it has been updated, where do we stand? It hasn't been updated. We're still sitting right here. Last updated October 26th. Actually, that is today. Okay, so we're sitting at 28, very close to extreme fear. We didn't yet reach extreme fear, which is okay. Which is interesting. But, we'll still be watching to see. Once again, we could get a 9-count buy signal here on the NASDAQ tomorrow if we don't rally too much here. And we'll be really watching to see what happens surrounding that level. We're trying to break back above the 10 and the 20 here in the hourly time frame. So, very important moments. Don't fall asleep on the market right now. Manage risk, of course, if you're getting into positions in a, very strong downtrend like I just did right now. And just make sure, be responsible, man. Just be responsible. So once again, the 10-year yield now getting a lower high here. It did bounce off the 10 again. There's still nothing bearish about this chart, but we're getting a little lower high. Can that hold, or do we move to a new high? If the 10-year has peaked, maybe it tells us the market bottom today with the 8 of the 9. And tomorrow we get a higher low, and then next week, maybe we go sideways, but we end up getting higher lows and kind of tricking everybody here. Kind of like in a whack-off distribution where you get like a Let me see. Can I paint with this? Yeah, something like this, you know, something like this before moving up stronger. I don't know. We'll be watching to see what happens here. If I just show you what that would look like, probably on an hourly time frame, maybe something like, this is a pretty cool tool here. Maybe it would look something like, you know, we have the first leg down, then we come down, crash, get a slightly higher low, you know, get back, and then crash, and then get a slightly higher low before really exploding up. We'll be watching to see if we get something like that, if we end up forming even more distribution. I did tell you, the reason why I thought this was going to come break to a new low here as soon as we bounced off of here was because if this is going to be a major bottom, that a major end of year rally, the big guns, the big institutions, they need to load up like a lot. And for that to happen, we need a lot of accumulation. Right now, if we are to break out of this bull flag to the upside here, we've been getting accumulation basically since Wednesday, July 19th. Since the peak there, we started the accumulation process. So just imagine that's like a few months there of accumulation. So once this thing explodes, up or down, and I do think it's going to be up, it's going to be very, very strong, and that can really give us an end of year rally. But first, they need to trick everybody into thinking this thing is not going to new highs, that this thing is going to crash right now. They need to trick you. They need to trick me as well. You know, sometimes I wait for that moment where I'm tricked to start thinking, okay, maybe we're getting close to a bottom. You know, that moment where I'm like, no, there's just no way. So, you know, markets do tend to act that way. We are watching to see what happens here on the markets. Very, very important stuff going on. Do not fall asleep at the wheel. Russell is at critical. NASDAQ is at the big level of support that I've been talking to you about for 3 weeks. I mean, I drew this line here, this bottom line. There was no reason to draw this line. Like, I did not see anybody else really talking about this. We didn't quite tag it here. I think we did tag it on the cash index. Did we? Not yet. So we haven't quite tagged it on the cash index. But, you know, once again, on a closing basis, we are tagging that level for the bull flag. That isn't that interesting. On a closing basis right now, we're right at it. So we'll be watching to see here what happens with the NASDAQ, with the S&P today and tomorrow. Do we get our 9 count perfected buy signals? If we do, what happens next week going into the Fed? It's going to be very, very interesting. So make sure you follow us on Twitter here. My Twitter, I think I wanted to show you. Yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. I suspect divergence, blah, 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 blah. Manage risk. That's not the one. Blah, 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 blah. I've now taken all profits on my short positions, and I'm looking to go long down there at 14,232, around that level, as we were approaching the lower band of the bull flag here. So yeah, we are watching to see what happens. Do not fall asleep at the wheel, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video. Bye for now.